a pleasure to have you. You are a world poker champion. You really made a name for yourself back in 2003 when you hit the national scene. Can you tell us, for people who do not know, what happened in 2003?
2003, I was an accountant, just played poker as a hobby. I was a controller for a restaurant group, and I started playing online on the site of Poker Stars, and I ended up winning a seat to the World Series of Poker. And I went out there as an amateur, and it spent $39, and I really just thought that it was going to be a bucket experience for me, just a once in a lifetime opportunity to go out and play with the pros, see what I have. My goal is to get through the first day. The tournament lasts 7 days. I kept making it through days. I kept advancing, and end up getting down to the end and pulling off sort of the improbable.
You turned $39 into how much?
$2.5 million.
Wow!
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. As the days were going by and you kept moving forward, I mean, what were you thinking?
The nerves just started adding up. The first day, I was nervous going in, but as the days progressed, it just got the pressure got more and more. The reality of what you're doing, because honestly, when we made the money, when you cash, there was probably 80 people left, and it was like $20,000, which for me at the time was a ton of money.
Right.
So I mean, just getting to that point was really, really big for me. And that was like 4 days in. I still had 4 days more to go.
Wow.
So it was definitely intense. The toughest thing I've done in my life, as far as keeping the lid on the pressure, and but it was also the most exhilarating as well. So I get to do it for a job now, full time. I've been doing it for, I guess, going on 13 years. And
these days, how many poker tournaments do you play in a year?
I probably average about one a month. I don't play as much as most professionals. I've got a family with 3 kids at home, so I try to balance my time between traveling and playing. And like we talked about earlier, when I'm at home, I'm at home, and when I'm on the road, I can't wait to get away and go play poker. But it's usually about 1 week to 2 weeks a month.
Now, what you did was so revolutionary, because I understand that you were the first person who ever got into a tournament online.
I'm the first one to win an online satellite
Right.
that way, and to win the tournament. There had been people previous that actually got on, but they didn't win. So I was the first amateur to come from an online arena. And back then, online players were considered sort of second-class citizens. Poker's supposed to be played face-to-face,
Right.
so you can read your opponent and all this other stuff. And online was really just looked down on back then. Now it's not so much. Now online players are really respected and things like that. But back then, wasn't the case.
Well, Matt Jones, one of our producers, who's a big poker player and actually got into the World Series of Poker just recently, he was saying that what you did actually brought national attention to the game of poker that hadn't been there before.
Yeah, the game was really dying out. They were shutting down poker rooms. I mean, most of the casinos, even in Vegas, everywhere, were just shutting down their rooms. And then once I did that, it really exploded on ESPN. The game got national exposure. I mean, the next year, attendance went up to from 839 to 2,500. Then we went to 6,000, and we've been hanging around 6,000 to 8,000 players in the main event every year. Rooms started opening back up. Everybody started playing. I would go do charity events, and there'd be all these pro athletes there. People wanted to come and talk to the poker player, not the athletes, which was really cool. It was a really cool time for about 10 years there, where poker was just the it thing.
Now, Chris, you're the ambassador for the Hollywood Poker Open. That's been around for a couple of years. You've grown that as well. And when is the next tournament?
We actually, our main event's coming up this weekend. It starts on Friday at noon. It's a $2,500 buy-in, and we're running satellites tomorrow, so you can come in and get in for as low as a couple $100. But we'll be running it. It starts Friday, and it'll run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is our 3rd season, and we'll have a $500,000 guarantee on it. Last year, we had 600 some odd players in it.
And where's it going to be again?
It's going to be at the M Resort down at the south end of the Strip.
Okay, all righty. Well, we're glad you joined us. You're going to weigh in on our trending topics.
Yes,
Teaches
I'm excited.
poker too, I hope.
I sure